And it is multiplying real numbers. The good news is tomorrow when we do dividing real numbers, you follow the same rules. It's just now with division instead. So multiplying real numbers, we need to talk about what are the rules that go with that. So let's just quick recap, okay? When we did addition and subtraction, we said if they have the same sign, so if both are positive or both are negative, do you add them or subtract them? You add them, okay? If they have different signs, we did what? Subtracted them. Okay, now this is different because now we're doing multiplication instead. So when we multiply, there's different rules with it. Here's what the two rules say, okay? The product, what is product? Multiplication, okay? So the product of two numbers with the same sign is positive. So what it's saying is if I multiply two numbers that have the same sign, so like 3 times 2, for instance, or -3 times -2. Okay, so they both had the same sign. The first two were both positive. The second two were both negative. If they have, God bless you, if they have the same sign, your answer will be positive. So 3 times 2 is a positive 6, and -3 times -2 is a positive 6. Okay, so multiplying two negatives together actually makes it become positive. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's the first rule. The second rule says the product of two numbers with different signs is negative. Okay, so if I multiply a positive times a negative, I'm going to get a negative answer. So if I did like -3 times a positive 2, I would get a -6. Or if I did 3 times a -2, I would get a -6. Okay, so if one of the two numbers is negative, your answer is negative. If, both numbers are negative, your answer is positive. If both numbers are positive, your answer is positive. Okay? So if you can follow those two rules, today's lesson will go very smoothly. We're just going to do a few of them. So first example, they're going to say, what is the product? In other words, we are multiplying. What do we get as our answer? So we're going to do a bunch of these. First one, if I do 6 times -15, okay, so we have one negative. The signs are different. Is our answer going to be positive or negative? Negative. Negative. You guys are good. So 6 times -15, and then you just have to figure out what 6 times 15 is. So on these, your calculator is your friend. Okay, you are welcome to plug in 6 times 15 is 90, and because we have one negative, our answer is negative. Okay. All right, how about this one? -7/10 times 3/5. Okay, you have one positive and one negative. What's your answer going to be? Negative. Okay, so we know our answer is going to be negative, and then we just need to figure out what is that negative answer. When you multiply fractions, what do? You don't need common denominator for multiplying. That was addition, right? When we add fractions, we need a common denominator. When we multiply fractions, we just go straight across. Okay, so it's going to be 7 times 3 is 21. 10 times 5 is 50. Can you reduce 21 over 50?
No.
No, you can't. So you would just leave it as a negative 21 over 50. Okay. How about this one? Negative 4 times negative 8. So we have a negative times a negative. What will our answer be?
Positive.
Positive. And then 4 times 8? 32. So you get a positive 32 for that. Okay. All right, how about this one? Negative 6 squared. What does that mean?
That means you have to multiply
Negative 6 times negative 6. So 2 negatives multiplied by each other becomes positive. So this would be a positive 36. Okay, last one of these, and then we have one more type of problem. 24 times 0.5. Is my answer going to be positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive, right? We have two positives. If their signs are the same, the answer is positive. So 24 times 0.5, you get 24 times a half. What's half of 24? 12. And it would be positive, so that's your answer. Okay, so multiplying two negatives, you get a positive. Multiplying two positives, you get a positive. Multiplying one of each, a positive and a negative, you get a negative. Okay? Questions on that? Double check it in your calculator. Your calculator is just your greatest friend in this class. Okay? Always double check it. All right, last thing we're going to do for today, example 2 here, is simplifying square roots. Okay. When you simplify square roots, there's two roots for a number, okay? You need to specify, are we dealing with the positive one, the negative one, or the positive and the negative one? So you need to pay attention to what is given to you. For instance, if I said, what is the negative square root of 25? We are taking the square root of 25 and taking the negative root of that, okay? What's the square root of 25? 5. So your answer here would be negative 5, right? Because it's the negative square root of 25, okay? What if I said this? So now you have positive and negative 4 over 49. Okay, if you see that plus minus out in front, that means your answer needs to be the positive and the negative version of it. And you can just put them right over top of each other, just like you see it there. Yes?
Can I
Get water? Yeah, go ahead. So if we do it like this, your breaking it down would turn into the positive and negative of what?
2 over negative 7.
2 over 7, but positive and negative. So you have the positive 2 over 7, and you have a negative 2 over 7, right? That's what this out in front is telling us. So basically you're saying you have two answers. 2/7 and negative 2/7 would both work. But we just write the plus and minus out in front, so you just have to write 2/7 once. But that's what that's saying. You have positive 2/7 and negative 2/7 would work there, okay? Okay, how about this one? If I said the square root of 64, if there's nothing out in front, it implies the positive, okay? So with nothing out in front here, what would my answer be?
8.
8, positive 8. Okay, that would be your answer. Last one. Actually, I'm going to do one more after this. Second to last one. So the square root of a negative 121 would be what? Negative 11. Okay, last one. What if I said positive and negative square root of 4? Oh, I did 4 earlier. Take it back. 16 over 81.
Negative. No.
It's one.
8
It's-
over 9.
It's,
No, 4 over 9.
no, it's,
It is 4 over 9, right? Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 81 is 9.
but it's a negative and a
Plus
positive.
It's plus or minus. It's the positive and the negative. So you get two answers there, right? A positive 4/9 and a negative 4/9. Questions on that?
No.
Okay, are you ready for a lightning round?
Yeah.